The Heaters are the true villains of the Granolah arc, if you ask me. Granolah is probably the most focused on character. It's his story, but the Heaters are the real villains. They have some bad intentions in Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 72 and beyond. This is the second in a trilogy of videos here on Geekdom 101 discussing the Heaters, Chapter 72, Granolah, and all that stuff. And on this video, we're going to be talking about what is the Heaters' true plot and what will their wishes be, because I think that while Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah are distracted, that's just going to be a plot so that they can go to Planet Cereal while that's going on, get the Dragon Balls, and do some real bad stuff, which we'll discuss on this video. So joining me once again, please welcome back Mr. Senpai.
Let's get it going.
So do you agree with me that the Heaters are the most interesting aspect of this arc right now?
It reminds me of Game of Thrones. Remember Littlefinger from Game of Thrones, the puppet master, manipulating everyone behind the scenes? That is exactly what Elec is doing, and that's what makes this arc so interesting. He doesn't even seem to have any major powers. It's just his smarts, his brain.
And we have Gas, who they have been kind of hyping up a little bit as being strong. So I don't know. We'll talk about him here shortly, okay? So everybody, let us know in the comments if you think the Heaters are the most interesting part of the Granolah arc, and if not, let me know what you think is too. Before we get to the wishes, let's talk about Zuno. So they went to Zuno in Chapter 71 and they asked Zuno 10 questions, but we only know about 6 questions that were actually confirmed. A couple of them were on screen on page 10, and a few other ones were just, we figured them out based on what happened in the chapter. Well, we have 2 that we know for sure. The rest of them, we can figure out.
Right, so the first question that was asked is, where are the Saiyans right now? What's interesting is that means they now know the location of Beerus' home planet. Is that gonna come up at some time in the future? We'll see. The second question, who sells the tastiest grub balls in the universe? That's Maki's question, who cares about that? The next question, how do the Dragon Balls of Earth work? The other one would be, how do the Cerealite Dragon Balls work? And that's how they found out that they don't turn to stone after being used, which is gonna come back at some point in the upcoming chapters. We'll talk about that here. It has to. The last 2 questions, what is Goku's weakness and what is Vegeta's weakness?
And that's how they found out about, going to Chi-Chi and using her to manipulate Goku. So that to me is interesting. Now, what questions were left ambiguous? They purposely kept them mysterious because we're going to find out what these questions were in future chapters. One of the ones I think that they asked, Mr. Senpai, is that I think they asked, what is Frieza's weakness? Because this whole goal is to have Elec take over Frieza's army. And I think he wants to know, what Frieza's power is, what they have to do to take over him, and maybe where his location is. So it's probably one of those, although Zuno has knowledge of the past, he may not know what's going on in the present. We don't know that for certain that he knows. But he does know the past. He would at least have an idea of the coordinates of Frieza's army. So I think that's one of the questions that he asked. Also, Granolah, they might ask what Granolah's weakness is, even though they kind of know Granolah. That might not be one that they really asked, but it could be a possibility they asked. I think the more intriguing one is when they asked about where are the Saiyans, let's not forget, Goku and Vegeta are not the only Saiyans out there, but we'll be discussing that in the next video because that might be a subtle hint of a major return coming up in Dragon Ball Super that will be very happy. It'll make a lot of people very happy when this character comes back, but that's going to be in the next video. What other questions do you think that they asked Zuno?
The last question that they would ask would be, is it possible to kill Zeno if they know about Zeno, or maybe about the gods? Like Beerus or the angels.
Now let's get to the wish. Okay, so the idea here is that they're going to have Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah fight, and while that's going on, they're going to go to Planet Cereal and get the Dragon Balls. Now, this is not going to go good because we now know the Dragon Balls don't have a recharge time, so that pretty much means they can keep summoning the dragon multiple times and get multiple wishes. What do you think these wishes are going to be? Are they going to wish for the kind of power that Granolah has? Are they going to wish to take away Granolah's power? Are they going to what do you think their wish is ultimately going to be?
The only wish I can really think of is using OG-73 and making him not only somebody that he can control, but also making him the most powerful being in the universe.
Or at least have have 7-3 show up and copy him.
Exactly. He has the ability to copy Goku, Vegeta, everybody. So maybe not having a limit in terms of his copy abilities, right? Maybe not having even a time limit. So he can just copy as many people as he wants and have all their powers indefinitely. That will be very dangerous. And the fact that he's not alive, which means he doesn't have a lifespan.
Yeah, he doesn't care about dying in 3 years or anything like that because the robots. Now, I was thinking that if they really want to get wild with this, they're going to wish that all the members of the Heater gang, all 4 of them or whatever, end up with power boosts, either at the level of Granolah or higher or lower. We don't really know. And then they could have a situation where we have Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah against the Heaters. That could actually end up being the big climactic battle later on. But at the same time, though, Elec does not seem like one of those guys that really cares that much about physical power. I think he wants Frieza's empire. So I think the wish is going to be something to where they're going to make the Heaters something. I mean, for all we know, he may wish to have the Frieza minions betray Frieza. He could wish to say, okay, I want to control Frieza's army. So that maybe the lower tier guys might work for him, but that may not work. We don't really know the true power of that dragon. That's the thing. We don't really know.
Well, they could also ask for immortality for the guy that they've been hyping up.
Gas. They could ask for immortality and then ask for the power. Because I don't know if there's any rule about, because one thing we don't know is even though he gave Granolah, like he granted the wish, the dragon did, but he also gave him a consequence. We don't know if every time you ask that dragon for a wish, there's going to be some kind of consequence. We don't know that. We've only seen one wish. So maybe it only applies to that particular wish, or it could be a thing where no matter what wish you make to this dragon, you have to pay. You have to fork something over. So what will that be? You know, there's a lot of mystery here in this upcoming chapter.
This is where it could get dark. In my opinion, if you were to ask for immortality, what will be an equivalent exchange?
You can't have sex ever again.
That's very bad as a man, but for Elec, he doesn't care about that. He gets he has money.
You sure about that? He didn't make it so that his penis falls off and that's it.
But what the dragon would ask is probably the lives of people he cares about, the closest to him, which would be Oil and Maki. And this is where we might see the true nature of Elec. That yet, while these people are his family members, he may not actually care about them. He may actually find them disposable and wouldn't mind sacrificing Maki and Oil so that Gus would be immortal.
You mean Gas?
Gas, yeah.
Gus, rather than that different guy. Gustavo. He's the other member. So let's talk about like what they could do. So they're gonna show up there and get the Dragon Balls, but obviously during the fight, Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah might. And one more thing, folks. You know, we discussed their wishes. I want you to grant me my wish, and I wish that you would hit the like button for me. Please hit that like button right now so that we can get the video going. So, and I appreciate that. So, okay. They're going to go to Planet Cereal. They're going to get the balls. And if they summon the dragon, then the sky will go dark. And that might, if it's far away from Goku and Vegeta and Granolah, they might not notice it. But if it's close by, or at least maybe not close by, we'll see. They might take the balls off the planet. Because if you remember back in Dragon Ball Z, the Namekian dragon was on Earth. And they may have to kidnap Monaito to do so, depending on what the rules are. I think no matter what, based on the fact that this dragon has these abilities to grant wishes almost indefinitely, I feel like by the end of this arc, those balls are not going to work anymore. I don't think we're going to have them out there, because if there's villains out there that know these balls are out there, it's going to cause a major problem that nobody's protecting, Planet Cereal.
And that was part of the entire plan. Why bring Goku and Vegeta to Planet Cereal? When I first saw that, it didn't make any sense to me. But then when they talked about the Dragon Balls, then it made a whole lot of sense. They can't really steal the Dragon Balls when Granolah is there protecting the planet. But if Granolah is distracted fighting the Saiyans, that gives them the opportunity to find the Dragon Balls with the Dragon Radar and then bounce out of there and go to their home base. Now, I gotta tell you, man, I think Monaito is gonna die by the end of this saga. Let me tell you why. Now, in chapter 71, Granolah says, "I can't return until Frieza's defeated. I'll wait here for the word from Elec." And then Oatmeal replies, "But will he be okay on his own?" referring to Monaito. And Granolah says, "He'll be fine." No, brother, that is foreshadowing. He's gonna die. Yeah, he's gonna die.
You're right. I mean, I don't know about him dying, and if he does die, they might bring him back to life. But I think there's a possibility that once they get their wishes granted by the Cerealian dragon, they might either kill him or kill the dragon. Like what Piccolo did back in Dragon Ball when Piccolo Daimao, Demon King Piccolo, summoned the dragon, wished to be young, and they destroyed Shenlong right there in front of everybody. Or in front of us, the audience. So we might see the dragon get killed. Either way, Whether or not Monaito dies, I think those balls are gonna be gone. That dragon's gonna be gone by the end of the arc. They can't just leave that dragon out there.
Elec is a mastermind. He likes insurance. And in the worst case scenario, that Granolah comes on top, and then he's gonna now go after the Heater gang. Elec can just say, my brother, we got Monaito here with us. And if you don't want him to die, we need you to do one more task.
Ransom.
And that is go kill Frieza.
Which he's gonna go do anyways. Granolah wants to do that. So I mean that's gonna happen no matter what. He wants to get his hands on Frieza. So we still haven't even gotten to the part where Frieza's gonna be a part of the story, you know. But let us know in the comments if you have any differences as far as like if you think that it's gonna go a different way, or if you think that they're gonna what the wish is gonna be. And we'll see you all in the next one.